Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am participating in the second, the Secret Not Secret Kit Club telephone hop. And what that is we have a layout and someone creates an original layout and we pass it along. And by the end, the layout is usually completely different. So just like the telephone game you used to play in grade school. So I am using this layout right here. This is from Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. She's got some great borders, a little bit of layering going on here. The focal is the photo. So it looks like there's like an ombre paper here. So I'm going to use this black and white. So let's see what I can do. All right, so I really love how this layout turned out. I'm just gonna throw it out there, like I really love it. I probably would not have created such a thick border on the one side had I not been using the telephone game hop to create this layout, but I absolutely adore how it turned out. So I know that I'm going to use a doily. I know that I'm going to use a little frame. I definitely don't want to exactly copy Christy's layout, even though her layout is utterly gorgeous. I kind of want to put my own stamp on it and make my own thing. So that is what I'm going to do. I have pulled out a ton of product, so all kinds of stuff to use up. Now, this is actually a Halloween themed paper right here, and I think maybe I end up covering up this entire sheet of paper right here. I think I do. But you know what? Who knows? You know, sometimes you put stuff down and you just keep adding and adding and you only have little peaks of what comes out, and I am completely okay with that. This paper is some sort of summer themed paper from Echo Park. It has like the mermaid scales on it, so I am just going to use the mermaid scales as just a decorative element here, and I'm layering it up over top of that Halloween themed paper, so you really can't tell what the words say over on the left hand side. Like, you just can't. Now these two washi tape books are from Paige Evans and Pink Paisley. I actually had the Turn the Page washi tape book and used just about everything in that sucker except for the butterflies. And so I felt like I had to buy it again, especially when it was on clearance at Target for so cheap. So I went ahead and grabbed that. Now, of course, it is thin. It doesn't have a cardstock weight, so you do see the line of the paper underneath of it, but I am completely okay with that. I am not worried about that whatsoever. This is another sheet of Close to My Heart paper, and I've got to say, I am really liking Close to My Heart papers right now. Now, they aren't as thick as the papers that you get from other manufacturers, but they're gorgeous. And they're not the thinnest either. They're not like if you go to Joann's or Hobby Lobby and pick up a sheet of pattern paper there. So they're kind of like in this middle weight between normal pattern paper, I guess, and that super thin stuff. But it's gorgeous colors, just good stuff, just good stuff. Okay, so I know I've got to build up some more over here for these borders. I probably should have just went ahead and went with something thick and chunky, but for whatever reason, I didn't do it. I ended up staying with the thinner things and building up my own borders. Now, I wasn't convinced of where that heart needed to go, that heart one right there, so I put it off to the side until I found something else. And look at me, people. Look at me using these branding strips. So as you guys might already know, branding strips are not something I usually scrapbook with. Branding strips usually go right into the trash. Like, I just don't use them. I know some people use them to kind of keep track of how many pages they do. Some people just put them in a little cup and use it as a decoration in their scrappy space, but they just go straight in the trash. I'm not worried about them. I don't think about them. But when I'm using this little guillotine trimmer, and the stuff just gets cut off and falls to the side, and it sits there. So sometimes I just decide that I need to go ahead and use it up. So like, look at me. I don't know if this is going to be something that lasts. Like, am I seriously going to be using branding strips in the future? Probably not. It's not going to be something that I'm going to like put the effort in to do. Let's just put it that way. So here we have that heart sticker, and I did place it on top of green, and there you go. And look, even there's such a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit of that first paper being shown. You just don't even see it. Like it doesn't even really register when you look at this border cluster that I'm making over here. And it is definitely a border cluster, that is for sure. So I don't know why. Oh, I know why. I was like, why did I pull out that trimmer instead of using the guillotine trimmer? It was because I wanted something that was super thin. And I have not mastered cutting off like a quarter of an inch on the guillotine trimmer yet. So I do pull out the old trusty Creative Memories trimmer to do that. But it's just the way it is. So here I trim off the little bits that were hanging off the edge, and I add some more adhesive because this is starting to get a little bit heavy on this side, and I don't want it to basically like come off the page. Now, I decide that since I, kind of didn't use this paper whatsoever, I'm going to use it to map my photo, and that's just because it's going to give me the colors throughout the photo. So I have all these colors throughout the layout. So I'm going to layer it on this orange paper. And that is totally cool because I had some orange over here in that border cluster. Now you can't even read the Halloween phrases or anything around the photo. You just don't even see it. But I am going to layer up. What am I doing here? What are you doing, Sandy? I don't remember this part. It has been a little while since I created this layout, guys, so I don't remember every single little detail. Now that does happen. Usually when I create a layout, I create 5 or 6 videos and then I go back and voice over them all, but I was kind of being a procrastinator because I knew that this layout didn't go up until mid-October, so I kind of procrastinated on it. Oops. So I did bring in that teal color there by using that Echo Park cut apart sheet that was left. I get my doily on there, and then I'm figuring out how I want this embossed frame to go. And I just really love how this turned out. Like, it just makes me stupid excited of how great I think this layout turned out. And that isn't like a bragging thing. Everyone has those layouts where you're like, I just really, really like this layout. Like, I just really enjoy how this came out. It hasn't been my top layout that I have made recently. My top layout was definitely my Taste the Rainbow Hop one. I just think it turned out utterly gorgeous. My husband's favorite was You Can't Say Bomb on an Airplane, which had a photo of a airplane that had tons of bombs painted on the side of it, which was his favorite. He actually said, you have got to share that layout. So I shared the layout. Now I'm just going to go ahead and use the things for like the colors that I've already pulled. So I have like the teal, the orange, and even kind of the darker like grassy green. And I'm just going to bring in little elements to have more of those on the page. Now, I decided to pull that off because I wasn't really feeling it up there. It was like this weird orange banner that just kind of went there and didn't really go anywhere else. I do use these black hearts from, I believe they're from Bella Boulevard. And I know that that sounds funky to say, like I'm using black hearts on my layout, but I think it looks good. I think it looks pretty good. I just adjust the photo there because it felt a little uneven. Now I am definitely going to use some Gina K Designs product on this layout. I mean, if you have a photograph with Gina K, then you kind of have to use her products, right? Now I did I am going to use that as, I thought I was going to use it as my main title, but I don't. I end up using it as kind of like the text of the page, or the journaling, if you're unsure what text of the page is. Now this is a foil stamp set, and I did not foil. Well, I attempted to foil. So I wanted to see if I could foil using the amalgam ink, and I probably should have known that that wasn't something that could have been done, but I still attempted it anyway. I ran it through the ink like 4 times, and actually some of the foil did come off on the ink, but not enough to make it like super foily. So I just went with it. Now, I am stamping off a couple of the flowers and a couple of the leaves, because I do have the dies to go with it, and I was just checking to make sure that I had the dies for the other things that I was going to stamp off, because I didn't, honestly, I don't want to fussy cut it. So I really enjoy stamping images that have dies with them because it makes life easier. It's weird because I don't mind fussy cutting paper, but if I have to fussy cut a stamped image, it's like, oh, it's ruining my day. So I definitely like the, oh shoot, I just blanked, the stamps that have the dies that go with them. So I am pressing this down in my MISTI, and as you can see, I didn't get a complete, clear, crisp image, and the great thing about a stamp positioning tool is that you can just restamp and then you get that crisp image. So there we go. Then I'm just going to turn my paper around. I'm going to go ahead and ink up the stamps one more time and put that down there to just make sure. Got to get my little magnets out of the way. So now I have, of course, got to stamp over again. And there we go. So I am not going to make you guys watch me cut all of these out or anything like that. You're welcome. I am going to show you how I line up the dies though. So I take the die and I just line it up, and I threw some purple tape on it, as you can see right there. And now I'm just pulling out the bits and pieces that I die cut, and I'm layering them up. So I did split the leaves right there on this one, the little leaf thing there, just because I wanted to have it kind of go under and on top of that frame right there. And it's just a matter of tucking in the leaves where you feel it looks good when they poke out. So you might be someone that loves like big frondy leaves, and you want to put it so that you get to see just about all of those leaves. If you're a person that loves greenery like that, go for it. If you're a person that doesn't love greenery, like, you might even tuck them in a little bit more than I did. But I just really love it. So I am going ahead and using some foam squares, because I'm going to pop up the flower so that it isn't just flat. Like, I want that little bit of extra dimension and extra fun up there. Just going to go ahead and tie that string a little bit tighter again. And I'm just trying to figure out where else I want to go ahead and put these embellishments. I decided that it was a good thing that I had cut that leaf a little bit, and I'm going to put it over here at the top, and then I'm going to put some pop squares, some foam squares, on the tips of each of these little leafy things, and that way it's going to lift it up a little bit off the page and give it a little bit of dimension. It's a plant, so it has like a very, I'm trying to give it a little bit more of an organic feel, is, you know, what I'm trying to get across here. So now I'm just going to adjust the flowers a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get some stickers and some color down. This does have a lot of black and white to it, but I also have these orange and green and teal pops of color, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting those in there as well. I don't want all the color to be on one part of the page. Now, one of my favorite things to do with enamel dots is to put the center of flowers in. I'm not exactly sure why I love it so much. It's just something that I do love. Now you can see where my light kind of catches that flower. It's got a little bit of a foilness to it, and that's where I had run the pieces through the Mink machine. So like I said, very, very tiny bit of foil got through, and I'm okay with that. Like it's fine. I could have, you know, done the proper thing and the proper technique and actually got foil on these, but I decided that I really liked the way it looked now, so we just went with it. So I'm adding some foam underneath of this flower because it is up on a thicker embossed frame, and I didn't want the flower to look like it was like falling down into the photo. I wanted it to be flat. So here I have the other Gina K stamp, and it says something like "Be creative every day," and I thought that this was really perfect to place on the layout. Now I'm not going to use a stamp positioner tool. Maybe one day when I get the 12 by 12 Misty, I will use the stamp positioner tool for this kind of thing, but right now I don't have it, so I am making do with just a acrylic. It's not even a block, it's like an acrylic flat thing. So I go ahead and push that down, and I'm pushing it down really hard because I don't want to have to stamp it twice, and it comes out great. Like I really just love the way it came out there. Adjusting that little tie again, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, yeah, you know what, I'm done. Like I need to add some journaling. Maybe I'll add it under the photo. And I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, and then I think some more, you guys. Then I decide I needed to move on to something else and maybe add some other little embellishments around the page. So I pull out these teal stars, and these are also from Close to My Heart. So I'm just figuring out places where they could go and where it looks pretty good. So I'm like, yep, that'll go there, and then this one will go here. And I'm thinking, all right, I'm enjoying this layout. But now I'm sitting here and I stare at the page for a long time. And I pick it up and I stare at it, and I'm like, you know what? I think I need a title that is not Be Creative. I think I need a like a bigger title underneath of the photo. So that is what I do. I have this gold word that says "here," and then I'm pulling out these tile letter stickers, and I don't have the proper letters. I am out of T's. So I decide to convert an I into a T by just using my Uniball pen here. And I'm okay with that. Like, you make it work for you. Like, I'm not going to throw out all of these stickers because I don't have T's. I can make it happen. So I do it again. So it's going to say "here" with the K's because this is Gina K and Rena K of Gina K Designs. And I just really, I don't know what it is, but for some reason, this title just makes me happy. I don't know if it's the gold or what, but that big orange K makes me happy. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to check out the video tomorrow, and I will see you guys again real soon.